Shall we do? We'll start on the sides then. And we've got hollows as well. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to shut a window. I'm freezing in here. Actually, maybe it's more realistic. It feels like I'm in this hall. The heating bill on Microtech must be.
So it's actually been quite warm up here today, like for November and early December. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, grim up north and that.
I wonder if they did plan for some of the bigger ships then, because these halls are massive. But maybe for whatever reason they couldn't do it. Anyway.
I know. I know. There was a lot of people upset that they didn't have a hollow fan and merchant and all that, like, you know.
Yeah. So 300i. This is one of the first kind of. What did they do? They did obviously luxury ships, but you could. So a bit like when you order a car and you like from new, and you pick the spec. So you could from the website pick all your change the seats, change some little styling things. Oh, here we go.
See, I mean, Origin is like the sort of Rolls-Royce, Bentley sort of range of spaceships, aren't they?
Yeah. See if it'll actually let us in.
And they do look nice.
Here we go.
Right, and you fell straight through. Oh no, you're in.
See if I nick the glasses.
I can't remember playing music in the halls, like. I don't know if you hear that. Like
yeah, it's off the advert that they did for it.
Oh, right, okay.
So you've got a bed and amenities inside. The options that you could pick, you could have a coffee machine and I think a little radio thing and a few other kind of luxury items. Well, they're a cool little ship. They're just a little, I guess, underpowered now with how things have kind of moved along and the other ships that are available.
Yeah, I think got cargo space in it as well, huh?
I'm not too sure on this one, but there is a bay somewhere. I'm not gonna get in the I'm not gonna get in the cockpit because I keep getting stuck in the seats.
No. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's like an underslung cargo bay.
All right, okay.
But they're cool. They're nice to fly. I'd still consider one for just those times when you just need to whiz around the system or something. But the range is rubbish, so I don't know. Maybe the 100i is a little bit better. We'll see which version of this one they've done. So the 600i.
$85X limited.
Oh, do you want? Oh, right. I'll come and do the little one.
Oh, I didn't realise this was a two-seat, I like.
Just for cruising around in style. I think the 890 comes with one of these, if I remember right. I was going to kind of talk about it a little bit more because touring is more like a gameplay loop that they want to add in.
I was going to say that's going to be the sort of, these are going to be, say, the niche ships for it. for them, aren't they?
These would be the top tier. So there is the Crusader Starliner passenger transport, and then what they want to do is kind of be a progression in it to go to luxury transport, which would be trips to go and see the space whales or whatever. But
Yeah,
it's
and
really
I
there's
600
quite
this one is.
a touring, so that there's quite a bit of detail to what their plans were for this, but I think anything more concrete than that hasn't been discussed for a while. We'll go to the top deck and work our way down. All fully armed. We can take them, Biv.
I am a hard northerner. I'll just stick the nut on them.
So you can see that, I mean, we've looked at the 600 before, but similar cockpit styling to the 890, isn't it?
Yeah.
But nice, nice clear canopy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, are these escape pods, are they? Or just for
I think these are for
man,
yeah, just storage. So there's an exploration variant. So these will just have bedrooms and stuff off each side because it's a touring one. Smaller rooms. So think of it like a cruise ship. And what will happen is you'll take either players or NPCs essentially on a cruise. I'll go into a bit more detail on the 890 because it's fairly detailed what they were planning.
Bar lounge.
It's a decent sized ship. A lot of stuff in it.
And it's very deceiving, yeah.
Should be engineering. I think there's the same the other side. I don't believe the component doors open like we've seen on more up-to-date models. Pretty sure it's the same. It's a bit like the 890 on both sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at some point we will be stocking up with food and stuff like that on the ships, which might not be too far away if they were looking at the medical gameplay coming in.
Oh yeah, definitely I.
It's quite well stocked. I have a few of these.
Plenty of quaff there.
There should be a lift here. We can go down. What was this room? Not sure what this one is.
No.
So there's element of modularity with these, with the two variants. So we'll go to the back first, but which should be your crew.
And it's still surprising how big this ship is as well.
Yeah. So like on a luxury yacht or even on the cruise ships, all the crew are kind of hidden away separate to your passengers or your high rollers.
Still not much privacy though, is there? You know, you think they would have, you think these would be like closed canopies, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean the 890 is kind of similar, isn't it? But they do have doors in the rooms, but still quite kitted out. So similar
I know it doesn't
size
really.
constellation.
No, and I know it doesn't really matter in game because it's a game sort of thing. But if they want to sort of be realistic, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so similar
Oh,
size
it's
to the
a South.
constellation, but it obviously supports a lot more crew and passengers for a long voyage or journey. So the section we're in now on the exploration version is the cargo stroke rover lift.
Right, so is that
Obviously they got rid of that and then they've
it's
just
just a
opened
glass
it up
floor?
here. Say again?
Like a glass floor,
Yeah.
looking out at the space thing. Oh, right, okay.
Then you should have a master room.
Oh, it's just the captain's quarters things.
I don't think I can look in third person from. Actually, we can have a look at the front. We'll just go back outside now. Weirdly, out of all the different ships, this is probably the most reliable lift because you can do this when you EVA as well. You can climb on it and the gravity will kick in. Even if you're in space, whereas the other ones seem a lot more glitchy.
It's still a fair size, like. Is that a slave turret underneath? Yeah.
Most of them are remote. There are some weapons that are for the pilot. A couple of
Right.
remote
Okay.
turrets. Origin's all about luxury, so you know they do play their part in the current game, in the current alpha state, but there's going to be more to come because of that. Let's say touring gameplay.
Oh yeah, definitely. I. Yeah.
I know you said like Bentley or Rolls Royce. I think the adverts kind of have that high end.
Makes
Kind of
feel a
wealth
bit.
targeted, yeah. You know the type of people that they're targeting. Right, I can't see your pip moving, so
Right next to you.
all right, cool. Okay, it's just some desync.
Oh, hold on, no, I'm standing next to somebody else. Right, I'm just going to the entrance of the exiting that
Yeah, cool.
that hole.
Can you see my pip? Just take a right when you come out.
Okay. I was standing next to somebody totally random there. It might even be an NPC. Damn. But I have had eight cans, like, so.
That's me jumping there.
Is that you jumping up?
Yeah, yeah.
I got you.
It's cool because the hall looks empty because all you can see is underneath the 890. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we've got the other variants for the 300 series.
Right, so what we've got there, combat sort of foliage and the constant sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so the white one we saw is kind of the stock one, and
Oh,
perfectly good as it is. We've got racing. So a couple of the different manufacturers we've seen racing ones. Is it the
so is
Misk
this the
Razor?
two?
Was it the other day?
Is this a two-seater one as well? Yeah.
No.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I think they changed the interior. I actually think there's not an interior compared to the other one we just looked at. I'll go and check it out. Yeah, so they've massively reduced the interior for whatever it is in the racing. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this one. I'm going to come out, but it's worth a popping in, Biff.
Yeah.
So you've still got a bed, but that's it.
Reducing the weight for racing sort of thing, you know.
Oh, someone's opened the cargo as well. So racing was more of a thing earlier on with Arena Commander. There's some little maps that you could do racing around, a few ships at that time, but racing is also going to be part of the game. So there will be big races, different places, or race tracks, I guess. Both on land and space ones.
Basic inside, like.
Yeah, it's just stripped down. It's just focused on that speed. So it does have some weapons on it, but I mean, in terms of gameplay for that, we don't really have anything in or working at the moment. There were some, but they seem to have been switched off for now. But Grim Hex was recently done up for I can't remember the name of the race that's supposed to be held there. With betting and viewing area and everything, isn't it? So maybe soon, maybe soon.
I only assume that it's got weapons on, so there's no holds barred racing where you can knock
yeah. So the 315p is the exploration one.
All right.
So scanner, I think it might have tractor beam actually, but. So scanner, so not dissimilar to some of the other starter explorations in terms of what you can do with it. However, you're doing it in style and with all the creature comforts that comes with the 300 series.
So obviously that's just a cargo bay. You're not going to get a vehicle on there, are you?
No. I'm sure one of them, and it might be the 100 series, was supposed to be able to get the Origin bike in it, but I don't think it would on here. It's only a couple of SCU cargo. But again, it's a starter ship, so not that we're ignoring these or devaluing them, but
I suppose it's just a case of what do you want from your starter ship, really, innit?
yeah.
It's all down to individual choice.
If you want to do it in luxury, then it's the it'll be the 100 series, really. This is probably a step above that in terms of starter as you're progressing. But hands down, it's a nice ship to fly, and yeah, if you had to pick a ship to go to A to B in, you know, meet your buddies or catch up or land on another ship, you can't go wrong with a 300.
Yeah.
And then a more combat focused one. So interestingly, when you spec them out, you could also pick some different component ranges. So think like a car where you'd change the engine. You could kind of spec it out a little bit better at a cost. They still have those options. I think they did at one point want to do that for every ship. I'm not too sure if that's still the case or still the plan. But even the colours or I think the highlights you could change. I think part of the main colour might have stayed the same. So pretty much the same. You won't necessarily get all the luxuries you'd get in another one, but yeah, this one's more combat focused. And wheels, weirdly. Everything else
Yeah, I
kind of
know.
doesn't. There's only a few things with wheels. It tends to be older stuff.
I don't know unless, well, I can't really see it myself, but the starports are not going to have a runway, are they?
No, you can kind of simulate a runway with using decoupled mode, but you can do that with landing gear as well. So. Right, we should have the 100 series at the front. We're going to look at that, which is going to look tiny compared to this. So the only capital ship in game, and I think, yeah, there are some people stood around to get a sense of scale.
I mean, as we know, when we've done the 890 jump missions, it's a big ship.
We'll ignore it for now, though.
Around.
Just let's have a quick look at the hundreds. Where? Right, okay, yeah, I'm going to come into you. Go to the blue, and there should be a white one somewhere.
Light free out of this one. 1356.
Yeah, so they've used the colour schemes kind of ran true for Origin. And actually, it changes on the 300 series because the cars that we'll see in a bit on the Hollows are the blue for racing, black for the more combat military, and white for the stock one. I think it alternates on the 300 series, but yeah, this is the cargo one. So if you're starting and you want a little bit more cargo, 135 is the one to go for. You have got a bed that you crawl into, so it's got some amenities. Not quite sure how useful they're going to be, but generally with bed logouts, you can log out in a bed and it will log you back in where you are. So probably quite useful. If you're in a ship without a bed, then yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen to you.
You've got to log at the station, really, haven't you?
Yeah. Just an odd shape. So some of the lines look cool and some don't. I'm going to go the other side of the landing gear bit to the other one. Which is the 125.
There's a combat one. Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's just a little bit more combat focused. Pretty much the same layout. You've still got the beds. Obviously, the cargo one does. I'm not too sure if it does have a cargo bay. I think it's changed for missiles. But I think, if I remember right, this was concepted quite a while ago. They've been waiting for a while. That's cool. Right, should we do the 890? There should be a white one as well somewhere, which is more of the standard version, but no, never mind.
I haven't seen anywhere, like.
This landing base is gigantic. Leg at the front is gigantic, is it? We'll get the lift. I've called the elevator, so it should just be on its way. Here we go. Let's try not to fall through the floor. Oh, we lost someone. Try not to move around. Oh no, there they are. Okay. Do you know what? We'll start at the cockpit and we'll just work our way down.
Right.
So saying like similar seat layout to the 600, which I guess is Origin's the style.
It's got a good all-round view as well, like, hasn't it?
So it's got a hangar bay at the front for another ship, and then we've also got a hangar bay at the rear, which we'll go and have a look at. Globes aren't functioning yet. We were talking about this the other day with the gameplay. With ships with this, it's more to kind of organise a fleet or group of ships, but we don't have any of that yet, or that interface. We don't have avionics components yet. I guess it'll be like scanning and stuff like that. Actually, we'll stay at the top and go to the back, which is the captain's quarters. Or at least we've been calling it the captain's quarters, I guess, main suite.
Yeah.
It is designed for taking passengers, luxury passengers on luxury cruises. It's a shame we haven't got the lights on, but you have all the amenities.
All the times I've done the 890 jump mission, I've never ever been in here.
Yeah.
Didn't even
You
know
can-
I was there.
You can see massively influenced by like the multi-million-pound yachts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's room for a sculpture. So we do have some bedrooms to the side as well.
Yeah.
Won't do the one because it's the same the other side. Toilets and a bar. So I always think cruise ship with this ship.
It's got to be like a dining area, yeah, and it's, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just full on, I guess, all the things you would do on a cruise. It's kind of an interesting. We'll do that lift on the left bit. It's kind of an interesting concept because they wanted to add like another gameplay loop in. That's not. I mean, can't really think of any past space games where you'd be transporting people. Oh shit! You need to bring that lift down. I fell to the bottom.
Well, all the way to
Yeah, it only goes, kitchen. Or crew level. We're going to go up one level though, so stay. Just don't move. I've got it. Spot. Yeah, I can't think of any other space games that did like passenger transporting, but I guess kind of interesting comment. We've got Paul.
You've got it in you've got it in Dangerous Horizons, but you've got to have like a passenger compartment, and you take guys on board, and that's it. You know what I mean? You just deliver them somewhere.
Yeah, I
there's
think
there's no sort of interaction, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I recalled some similar where it's just it's either stats or something in the background, kind of earlier games, but it's I guess part of making a living verse.
Yeah.
So from here, if we go down, we'll take the little lift.
Obviously, that's escape pods, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, you're on. Engineer.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to the rear hangar. So this is your one of the engines. So your components and engineering should be here. That's your gravity generator. Alright, so we have got the panels and they don't work yet.
Right, I've lost you.
Just come into
right,
the...
I see,
yeah.
Yeah, got you.
Oh, come off that, yeah. Just send it down. It's got an interesting airlock on it for... So you can... This is the only ship at the moment that can carry ballistas.
Oh, right, okay. I've just got to nip the loop back in a minute.
Alright, cool. Actually, we should have gone down on that. Now, I can't remember if this will take all the air out when it seals, which might not be a good idea. Oh, okay, cool. But it's cool that it actually has an airlock for it, and you can still store stuff in here. We'll wait for Biff. So this is the other side of the engine. And while he's doing that, I can quickly look at what I needed for this.
Right, I'm back.
Oh, 1 second. I've just gone up the stairs to the top.
Yeah, I can see, yeah. So this is like the vehicle hangar, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, essentially. You can drive stuff off the landing lift. Whether or not they'll stay secure, though, is another question. I'm not too sure. So these panels here that I'm jumping on should secure the cargo, so it doesn't move around. These might as well. We've got some more here. They don't quite look the same, but you can store stuff off that cargo grid, but further on down the game it might fly around everywhere. So if we go this way, I've got medical on the right.
Can you can you store? Is this kind of for your spawn point? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Don't click on to bind yourself here, though, in case it. Yeah.
No. Oh, I'm not doing that. I read all the hassle I had on
It was the Carrack, yeah.
So the Carrack, yeah.
But that's actually part of passenger transport gameplay. If someone gets ill or injured.
Right, I'm stuck in here. That's it.
We'll take this up.
And what size? What's the biggest size ship that'll fit in here?
Good question. Generally fighters. I can't recall anything really large in here, but if it sits, it fits.
Yeah.
You can leave it out like this as well, and once someone's landed on it, it's attached to the ship. Just don't fall off.
I mean, it just gives you, you know, a perspective of how big this thing is, really, like, doesn't
it? Yeah. I'll try and move the camera back a bit.
I think, I don't know, you get a Kenny size ship. You think you'd get a star run on here?
No.
Alright. Cutlass black?
Yes. Maybe. Might be tight on the front.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think you can. So interestingly, there's like shelving units like above your head on each side. So we're not sure whether you can store. So think like bikes, like Dragonflies, something like that. Origin do their own version.
I mean, if it is, they've got to get you access to them, haven't they, really? So,
yeah, and where I'm stood here is a cargo grid, so you can have cargo coming back and forth. I guess supplies, foods, or maybe you go and find something from this side and here.
Yeah.
Or at least it looks like cargo points.
Obviously, it doubles up as a basketball court.
Yeah. Front door there's just to a turret on the front. There's another turret in this door. We're not going to turrets because we keep getting stuck in seats.
Yeah.
Basketball court. We're looking forward to that gameplay. I wonder how far that is away. So we've got crew escape pods. Oh, sorry, EVA gear. Maybe they are escape pods.
Recreation room.
Yep. Toilets for the crew, so not as good as the ones upstairs. So different to the 600i where it was all open, these are all got your own bunks.
Yeah.
But interestingly, they put all the crew right at the bottom on both, which would be the same as actual ships, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind. So we've got kitchen to prepare all those luxury meals.
Haha. This must be the freezer.
Yeah. Whatever delicacies you find. And then we've got more. I think, yeah, these are escape
Look like
pods.
that. Yeah, looks like it are.
We've actually got a battle bridge here. So if something was happening or the actual top of the ship's damaged, bridge, then you come back here and you control everything from here. I don't think it's going to do a Star Trek saucer separation, but I guess similar kind of idea.
Yeah.
We'll take the ladder. Be safe.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey, was. We decided a little earlier today.
Okay.
But if let me see if I can invite you into party. Are you in game?
I'm just launching
coming
it.
on. Yeah, right. We're kind of halfway through, but we're just on the 890. So we've done the 300 series. What's the two-seater one? I can't remember that one now.
600 and the 100.
And the 600, yeah.
I'm on menu now.
So I actually got one of the things I did was go and get the design doc up for the passenger transport, but it's a bit of a heavy read, so I'm not going to read it all out. But you can just Google it, Star Citizen passenger transport.
Joining your server.
Right, cool.
Thing with this is, yeah, it's an absolutely massive ship, but it's dwarfed compared to likes of the Idris, the Polaris, even the Javelin. So it gives you a good idea how big them other ships are going to be, really, doesn't it?
Yes. And I think it's the detail, because I know I've gone on about the passenger transport and stuff, and some of the detail in the other professions that they wanted us to do or looking to put into the game, but passenger transport is just insanely complicated, potentially.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is, obviously, like on the Javelin, you've got your engineering, you've got your navigation, this and all the rest of it. So, like engineering, whoever's playing the role of looking after engineering, they're going to have to stop down there all the time. They couldn't be on the bridge. And if something happens, it's going to take you 10 minutes to run doing the engineering, isn't it?
Well, that's if you're doing it yourself, and I suspect more you'd be operating it from the bridge, but you're going to be sending NPCs. You might still run off and do it yourself, depending on the size of the ship.
Yeah.
You'd probably start from the bridge if it's a multiplayer ship, and then looking and identifying where the damage is or what needs repairing, and then go and do it. Whereas on a ship like this, you've probably got crew that you're going to be, if it's not your buddies doing it, so there'll be someone on the bridge rerouting power and all of that while someone goes and repairs it. If people aren't available, real players, then you'd be telling an NPC, right, there'll be some instruction to go and repair this bit here, but it would be from you. You've got to work out what where the damage is or whatever, and send them. I'm trying to look in third person.
And I think even then, I mean, we've touched on this when we talked at other times about NPCs gaining experience and that. So something happens engineering, right, and you send an NPC doing, you want to be sending your best one, really, don't you?
Yeah. I guess depending on what it is, so these are bits we don't really know yet. It could just take time, if they're less experienced, or they might not be able to complete it. Those are complete unknowns, but certainly the intent is there for that type of gameplay. I was going to just read like a paragraph. I didn't want to read this all out because it's quite heavy, but it's actually pretty interesting. So passenger transport is a heavily regulated activity, and the first step in an aspiring transporter's career is to obtain a license.
Yeah, which is
So
understandable, yeah.
you can't pick up or deliver passengers without a license. If your criminal record is clear and you've got no prior experience in the field, that's fine. A recurring fee for the license is required, with the amount dependent upon how much passenger traffic travels through the landing zone. Larger transports.
What about like approval? As in, like, if you're a good pilot or not? If you're like a reckless pilot, you.
Yeah, but possibly.
Right,
However that's measured.
I've just fell out of the ship.
Oh.
Hello, Alpha.
Must have hit a hole.
So
Hello,
the big kind of profitable passenger ones will be at busy places, and it'll cost you a large license fee to be able to do it. So you'll probably start off on smaller places and kind of build up. Is what it's saying there.
Yeah, well, you've got to build your reputation up with that, haven't you?
Yeah. So they are focused on specialised types of ships, such as the Starliner, which is the Crusader one.
Do you want to send me an invite?
Yep.
I think he's deaf. Or deaf inside. Pardon?
So I've got multiple tabs open.
Hello?
Yo,
That odd.
did we just lose the channel?
Keep dropping out the channel.
Yeah, I think we just lost the channel. That's okay. Just stay here, Biv.
Yeah, I will do. I don't know what's happened there.
No, I think we just lost the channel somehow.
I was saying I dropped out of the. I must have hit a hole in the ship and I dropped out.
I think I'm wide-wise, but obviously with the channel, I don't know what happened with the channel.
I don't know. I must have just disconnected somehow.
So yeah, so it will be specialist type of ships, and they'd be looking at doing 4 classes of comfort. So you have your coach, your business class, your first class, and your luxury class. So not all those ships that because there's going to be more will support all those classes because it depends what it is. Starliner is supposed to be a bit configurable, so you might be able to do. Sorry, Wise, we lost the channel for some reason. Bit messy.
Oh, okay.
So you could set it up for. I guess what they do on real ones, real airplanes where you have it. You have a first class, but depending on the route or the type of clientele you're after, you might have a larger first class cabin, or just stack more people in to get the
Business
volume in
class and
coach.
stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, just all stuffed in. So they're looking to kind of have that in as well. So once you've got your right ship for the type of passengers you want and a license, all you'll need to do is park on a landing pad and just advertise your services. But there
What we're
will
saying,
be
it's the Gemini Starliner, the other one, yeah.
Crusader Starliner.
All right, all right, okay. So that's probably going to be like your Billy Basic one, really, isn't it, compared to this?
The Starliner,
Like,
not strictly. Starliner is supposed to be the top of the line, long range
oh, right, okay.
luxury class transport.
The 890 was.
The 890 takes it up a notch, but the 890 is touring, so it's on top
Right.
of passenger transport and doing it in luxury and coach and first class travel.
Okay.
And then you take it up a notch by doing tours or like a cruise.
So I can assume that probably in the future they're going to bring a one in underneath the Crusader Starliner, just like, because it's like you were saying before, you have your normal fare, and then you have your bit executive one, and then business class, and then first class sort of thing. So I'm assuming they might do the same sort of thing where you've got like your normal standard one, which is no frills sort of thing, and then you work your way up from that sort of thing,
Yeah, and there's nothing to say that. So when we looked at the freelancer the other day and the extra seats that you've got in there, if you're just solo and you've got some cargo, there's nothing to say that you can't advertise to take passengers and basically announce your destination. Get a license to take passengers, announce your destination. You're not going to take a luxury passenger because they'll revoke your license after that because they ain't going to be happy, are they? Stuck in a freelancer.
Well,
But
I
you
mean,
could
in the
you
day
could maybe
that's
take you could maybe take a lower down that route, but you're maximising the money you're making, aren't they? You're going to make a little bit on taking one passenger or two passengers if they want to go the route you go in and get dropped off, but it just gives you
but
extra options.
On that sort of note, if you want to be a luxury passenger, you wouldn't be getting on a freelancer, would you? You know what I mean? Because you've got to know what you're expecting.
Yeah, so you'd advertise as that. You're probably not going to get any bites if you advertise it as a luxury, even if you can advertise it as a luxury. But bear in mind, like I'm reading from a design doc here, so I don't have like all the answers, but this is what the intent has been.
Oh yeah, definitely. Aye. Are you off the 890 now? Are you?
No, I'm still on. So this design doc was from
All right.
2015, so it's 5 years old. But so that's kind of the basic concept. That also involves reputation. So the first iteration of the reputation system starting to come online is next patch. So we'll get that before the end of the year.
Yeah, so that's going to be bounty hunter reputation and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
so if you're doing passenger transport, it would be separate to that, but reputation will directly impact two things for you. So it will impact whether your license to operate is temporarily revoked or not, and how much of a discount you must suffer or pay when competing against others for the same level of service. So you might be able to, so let's say you did have a Starliner and you say, hey, luxury travel, if your reputation is poor, who are you going to go with? It's the same, you're going to have to either offer discounts to encourage people to come with you, or be penalised in some way because I'm flying my Starliner and I've got a wicked reputation. I've got all the best food for the in-flight meals and everything, and you're not offering that, or or should I say you haven't been offering that, which is why your reputation suffered for it. So there's another kind of element. It's not just going to be moving NPCs. Like that reputation thing, you want to keep it up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, end of the day, it could be players you're transporting as well, like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, so engineering gameplay will come into play because they've added some in-flight communication and entertainment system, or they will be. So they have computer blades with it. You can, I think this is like in-flight movies and stuff like that. But if your luxury passenger can't watch the movie because it's on the fritz, someone needs to go and repair that. And they'll, I think, I'm not reading through all the doc, I'm trying to remember some bits that I've read before. I think along the lines of, if you're attentive and you react to that player with his hand up or hitting the I need attention sign to alert you, go and find out what they want and then fix it. And if you do that within a certain time, it's good. But if you leave it and they have the whole flight and their in-flight entertainment thing isn't working, then it's going to affect your reputation because they're not going to be happy. Drinks come into this. So we recently saw the bartender kind of finish. It's took years. Why the bartender? Why did they spend years doing a bartender? Because it was so complicated to do, mixing drinks and stuff like that for the NPC or the AI, to go and pick the right thing, the right drink to mix it. It was the most complicated of all the types of, I guess, activities they want NPCs to do. So I believe the logic was work on the most complicated one, and then whatever we learn from that, whatever tech we build from that, will support any of the other kind of operations. But mixing drinks kind of plays a part in this as well. So you're saying what I was saying with the attentive, being attentive to the passengers when they order drinks. If you don't get the mix of the drinks right, so like a mini game, you could hire an NPC to do it. So you'd hope they've got some kind of bar experience, because if they don't, all the drinks are going to be mixed wrong, and you're going to have dissatisfied passengers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm kind of like oversimplifying some of these bits, but I'm also conscious that this is massively complicated.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, and like you're saying, that they've done the bartender first because it opens up for all the other NPC things as well.
So
Complicated one
yeah,
first,
and
then
players will be able to do that themselves. It's not you wouldn't just it's not just an NPC role. You might say, okay, we'll do that, and you know if we say on that Saturday night, instead of going for combat tonight, we're going to do a chilled one. We're going to fly passenger transport, and we'll be the cabin crew, the pilot. You know, actually I can't really see us doing that, but it
no
might be entertaining to do at some point. Um,
DJ in the party room and that.
yeah, yeah. You know, there's potential for you to do. Medical gameplay comes into this as well because if someone's ill on the passenger ship, they need attention. So we saw the medical bay in the 890, like same concept on a passenger flight. The doctors mention, for example, something like flu or a cold, where if someone's coughing, people will look over and see why they're coughing, and they'll become so it kind of not just the like a virus could spread, also that annoyance and the reputation could be affected because now everyone's sat around this coughing NPC. So they're not happy
Yeah,
about that.
yeah,
What are you going to do about it? So there's added into that because it's not just going to treat them, it's going and treating them correctly and making sure you've got the supplies to be able to treat them correctly, which is your medical gameplay. So whatever scanning it is to find out what's wrong, to decide what is the correct drugs to give them. Now, I'm also conscious that this is sounding completely like a fantasy, and I know we've said that on other things with this game, but this is literally the design doc. So, this was from 2015 when it was published. Maybe it's a bit older than that, or you know, that's when they were to them. But there's been 5 years working towards these goals, and medical gameplay is one of those. So even though we haven't explicitly said they've mentioned giving people drugs and stuff like that to treat them, there's actually a bit more info on what medical gameplay is planned to be from this doc about passenger transport,
yeah.
flight attendants and stuff, so you can hire them. Actually, yeah, I'll wrap that up there. The 890 takes it to a next level, so it's different. It's definitely up there with luxury travel, but the amount of passengers is massively reduced. But it's for touring. So I think Crusader is a gas giant, so it's not functional yet. We can't visit it, Orison, the city there. But it's exotic. Probably not the right word. So you know, go to waypoint here, and at this time the sun is in the right area to bounce off here, and it looks amazing. And if you do that at the right time with with the cruise passengers, they're all gonna give you a wicked rep for awesome trip. I'm really kind of simplifying that, but you're doing a tour. You've got to go and see something. Go and spot
Yeah.
space whales. We joked earlier, but that's supposed to be actually be a thing in the game. So we're probably quite far. Well, we're a lot nearer that goal than we were in 2015 when they give us that design doc. Clearly. But consider, I think the design doc for Death of the Spaceman was before this. I'm not quite sure how many years, or if around the same time. And we only just got an update a month ago, saying that they're ready to turn some of that on, all these different systems they've been building. So it's not like nothing's been happening. It's all been working towards the goals put out in this design doc. But definitely at some point go and Google it and have a read yourself, because it puts all these, especially the luxury ones, into a bit of perspective of what they're trying to use them for. It's going to be
Yeah, I'll have a look at that.
it's going to be a whole new career path. just want to get a screenshot.
Well,
but
I'm waiting at the.
I'm coming
waiting
out.
at the stairs going down to the hollows. I'll just wait for you.
Actually, I'm going to jump off the side. This won't go wrong. So we've got some airlocks for docking in space. Okay, this looks like a lot higher up than I remembered. I'm pretty sure there's some bits I can jump down.
You're gonna break your leg.
I know. Every time we do each day. Oh fuck! I fell through it. No, I'm good. I'm good. Ooh.
Oh,
Abandoned ship. Are you still on route wise, or have you made it here yet?
No, I was in the ship with you.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, I've just jumped out.
I'm taking the elevator. This elevator is so slow.
But it's massively complex. Just I think the point I'm trying to make is like that's one aspect of the game. They built the ships for it, so it's not something that they've said, oh, John, we're not going to be able to do that. And this is on top of combat, bounty hunting, salvage, exploration. What's the other one? Mining. Mining. I probably should have said first. But you can see that as we've progressed through the week, it's kind of actually changed my perspective on some of the things, some of these ships, because just one ship, whatever ship you're flying, there's going to be something for you to do. There's going to be some form of progression, working your way up. Nice glasses.
Yep.
God, your dress uniform, formal day for luxury.
The hat seems to match the Origin hat. Matches
Hey,
the color bit.
I think we met her the other day. Nice pips.
yeah. Right, this is the one you were looking for earlier.
Oh yeah, so this is the stock
The one on
100i.
the right.
So one of them is supposed to be able. I'm trying to see if I can open the cargo bay. Then maybe there's a button.
G'day.
Hey.
Hello.
How's things?
Not too
feel
bad.
bad.
The last time I really looked at this was when it came out, and it wasn't for that long.
It's not just an internal cargo.
There is an internal cargo, but I'm sure maybe it's only the other one. I had something in my head that one of the ships was supposed to be able to carry the, and I don't think it'd be this one. We're supposed to be able to carry the Origin bike, but I'm trying to remember. There's all panels on the outside for the components.
No.
I'm sure there's one on the wing as well somewhere.
You see what's written there on the intakes on the front. It's it says air, and then it says beside it adaptive intake refinery. So the shortcut is air.
Yeah, so they actually put there is a special feature on these, which is the air system. So it can take in more, I guess, gases to turn into fuel. It's one of the only, if it might be the only ship to have it in the
What ship you
Origin
talking
line, the 100 series. So I guess less refueling, so you can travel further.
I just like how they implemented it like that. That's well done.
Well, to be fair, when this first came out and I had it as a learner, and I tried to do a mission, it proper eats through the hydrogen fuel.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's all working yet, but Yeah, there's it gives. There's a couple of ships. So the MISC, what's the exploration one? Freelance does have a mini refinery on it as well. So if you did go out and mine quantum fuel, potentially you might be able to refine that. That would need confirming, but
What was the?
it's-
There's going to be a refinery ship, wasn't there? But they haven't released any details.
no. There's supposed to be a mini or a small one. Oh, the M50, it's just another racing ship.
Yeah, it's got some.
Actually, this was recently
big-ass
reworked,
engines on
wasn't
the-
it? Recently,
Yeah, I think so.
just because it was dated, so they've kind of brought it up to date. So if you think like we just talked about the passenger transport and the level of complexity that is, I'd go the same with any of the professions that they're kind of intending for us to be playing around with. Racing, no doubt, is going to have some form of reputation. If you win races here, and then different legs or some kind of league system. So I guess first person to get in there and race the NPCs is going to have an advantage. As soon as lots of players start going for doing the races, it's going to get really competitive.
Yeah, I'm just wondering with the racing side of it, if you're going to be able to customise your ships a bit more, rather than just like the standard components that you put in, if you know what I mean.
So there are competition components. So there's generally a trade-off with them, and so they'll do one bit really well and not so much on the other. So we don't really use them for everyday playing the different ships, but
So it's going to be a case of, right, you've got racing components in, they're going to be the same as everybody else, and it's just down to skill more than anything else. And
no, you'll still be customizing those components, so you can still upgrade. You can get different grades of racing components. So you can, if you're just stock and someone's got better components, they're going to perform better than you. There's going to be a level of customization with those components as well. We've seen it with the mining laser, with the 3 different consumables that you can use.
Yeah, okay,
So
yeah.
whether or not they'll be consumables or whether they'll be like permanent upgrades, but let's say on your cooler you can have 3 different options, but there's a range of 12 different options you can add to it. That's going to give the variety.
Yeah, so it's basically like having nitrous oxide and flicking the switch in, boom.
Yeah, and you know what? That's fine. But if you might be able to, one of the examples of those type of components within the components was, oh, you're right, Flip, was you might be able to add extra protection against
Sorry, I just saw the square
against EMPs. So that's fine, but that's your trade-off. If you don't put that component in, you're vulnerable a bit more to EMPs than someone that does.
Wait a sec, what happened to the... I thought there was a new RSI ship.
That's tomorrow. So we're just doing the Origin tour now. Actually,
RSI's tomorrow, isn't it?
we're just nearly finished.
Are they releasing a new? No.
Say again?
Are they releasing a new ship tomorrow?
Yes.
We
Is
believe
that the
so, yeah.
Perseus?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've gone into the hollow room now.
Right, I'm on my way.
I should have gone the other side.
Well, yeah, I forgot about these things.
Yeah, the G12, the rover. G12A, so this is the more military version.
Is that the square car? Is that the square car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Elon Musk's.
It's Tesla from the future.
Yeah.
I like it.
This one's just
I'm looking forward to
missiles
these.
only, you know. It's got
Yeah,
no sort
so
of guns on, just missiles only. Yeah.
just missiles only. So they've kind of mixed it up to what we normally have on the ground vehicle, or say normal, because it's only really the cyclones, isn't it? And the variants that they did for those.
Ballista as well.
So with the variants you had, isn't it? The TR is the gun one,
Oh
which
yeah,
is the more
yeah,
combat
variants, yeah.
oriented. There wasn't an AA one. But the military one, or military version, so it's supposed to have heavier armor and missiles.
That looks like a
no
white or grey
cargo.
box, hollow.
Yeah, well, it's actually supposed to all be. The paint is black, but it does.
But yeah, I'm just saying because
Look
there's not
quite
much detail
detailed.
on it at the moment.
It looks a bit more fleshed out than the. I mean, it could just be the same as the hollows from before, but.
Yeah.
It's also a sealed environment, so that might be beneficial. It might not be in terms of what armor you can wear, though, to actually get in it. At some point, isn't it? You might not be able to sit in that seat with heavy armor.
Where do the doors open? Like, is it going to be something like if you roll it, you're stuck inside of it?
Probably.
Well, hopefully they'll
They,
have
they
that
must be
fixed.
on the side, but we can't. I can't really see anything to show that.
Yeah. You know, like some things that have got going doors, if you roll it, you can't open the door.
Yeah. Just trying to see if they can see any kind of detailed panels or not. Not really. There's three. So there's so the Cyclone Anti-Air also has an EMP on it. What they've done for the Origin one, there's a racing one that has an EMP on it, and then there's a standard one with a turret and some cargo space.
Yeah, the one with the turrets is on the other side.
This one's exploration one.
And it looks even less detailed.
Yeah,
Well,
this is the
Origin all
standard
smooth
G12.
lines, aren't they?
Yeah, it could be. I think we'd probably see some lines for where a door or something is, but
Yeah. I haven't been on my jump for an age. I might have to get it out later on, after dinner. I've only got about 20 minutes, so I just thought I'd jump in quick. Oh no!
Yeah,
don't do
there's,
this again. I can't get out of the train.
everyone
Oh,
will have
no.
890s today though, because you can rent them.
Yeah, I noticed it was. I noticed that it's sold out though.
Really?
I can't get out the damn train. It didn't open the doors. I
Yeah,
have to
that's my
get the next stop and come back. Thank you.
It's my
Quite
dilemma.
long.
Do I not buy anything today when my melts come off cooldown, or do I wait and try to get a Polaris
Whee.
tomorrow?
Well, it
Oh,
depends
that's
what
the
they are.
point.
We don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't think I really want one
Besides,
anyway.
I'll
I mean,
get one anyway.
it's
So-
nice to have
so-
one in the buyback just in case, but
Oh.
I don't think I really want one.
I'm gonna wrap up the stream. I think the only thing left from Origin, I'll just get this out there quickly, is the bikes, the X ones.
Mm-hmm.
Which just
Oh, yeah.
nothing's happened with them for ages. I think all we've really still got is the concept art. Is it the Maglev? Not Maglev. Whatever the system is, Gravlev.
Yeah, grab levy.
but you stand up on them, don't you? If I remember right, so they are a little different styling to the other ones.
I don't like them at all. Oh, what?
Yeah, I think
So,
your legs protrude at the front, but they're enclosed or something.
oh right, I was thinking a bit like a chariot, like where you stand up and
Yeah, kind
something
of.
like that. You know what I mean?
So yeah, just slightly different. You seem to be more enclosed with it. But cool. I'm gonna wrap the stream here, and
Yeah.
then we can carry on chatting.